Mono White Initiative gamers are once again breaking the spirit of the format, this time with Void Mirror. Welcome back, vintage gamers, to the dark side. We're going to play some new innovations that are happening in the current metagame. A bunch of players recently have been top 8ing with Mono White Initiative featuring Void Mirror. Void Mirror is a card with some interesting history in vintage. Void Mirror came out in Modern Horizons 2, where it was really divisive on spoiler season. Some people thought that this card would need to be instantly restricted in the format for a lot of the same reasons that people thought that Vexing Bauble would end up being restricted. It's very Chalice of the Void, like it violates the spirit of the format, and if you play it on the play, your opponent can't play Moxing. What is Void Mirror? Void Mirror is whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So not only just Moxin, but also all colorless spells, all artifacts, like an entire shop's decks, if it's not geared to be Void Mirror, might not be able to play its cards if it's on the draw and the opponent plays a Void Mirror. Force of Will, pitch cast spells are countered by Void Mirror. Void Mirror had a lot of fuss around it. People thought it would be a big problem in vintage, and the end result was that it basically didn't see any play and was not very good. It hasn't really seen play in vintage to any kind of large amount since its printing in Modern Horizons 2. But recently, Mono White Initiative has been looking for new tools to innovate against the metagame, and with the metagame moving away a little bit, at least, from Lurrus Control, Lurrus Frog, and moving more towards Lurrus PO at the top, Void Mirror gets a little bit more game. You know, it's like a kind of like a Null Rod, but it doesn't hurt you as much. When you play a Null Rod in this deck, sure, it's going to hurt your opponent, but a lot of your fast mana and a lot of sometimes your mana fixing in Chrome Mox, Lotus, and Pearl, it can be really hard to cast future spells. Void Mirror works a little bit better than main deck Null Rod in this deck if you're on the play, because you get to deploy your 0 mana and your fixing first, and then deploy the Void Mirror. That also is true that it's like just going to be very good in the Mono White Mirror. If you're on the play in the Mono White Mirror and you deploy Void Mirror, it means your opponent cannot play a turn 1 creature. They're not going to be play any of their accelerants. Sometimes they won't even have their mana fixing. This deck is really bad at producing white mana. It's funny because it's a Mono White deck, but it might have one of the worst mana bases in all of Magic. Yeah, so we're going to play this pretty stock standard. This is the Echo Baron top 8 list. It's got 4 of all the good creatures, basically 4 of every creature, and then fast artifact mana and 4 Void Mirror / Vexing Bauble effects. Just got looks like 4, 4, 4, 3 in the sideboard. I love this list. It's got no tutors, so you just play 4 of all the good cards. Very, very excited about this list. I still don't think Initiative is good, is my general read. Initiative was really struggling in vintage. It was a 45% win rate for a couple months. And recently in the last 2 weeks with the inclusion of Void Mirror, it's shot up to about 48% win rate, which is still under 50. But people are going to play it, so you should be aware that Void Mirror is the new and improved tech. And we're going to try it out here in this league and see just how good being on the play with a Void Mirror can be. I'll see you in round 1. The legendary NYSE Open returns to Long Island in New York. This 9th installment will be a 15 proxy, $500 entry fee tournament where the top 8 will return home with 8 pieces of real unlimited power. Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxins will be part of this celebration of vintage. At 100 players, there'll be an additional wacky draft with classic booster packs from Ice Age to Onslaught, the NYC Trophy, Karn Altars, $1,000 in giveaways, dealers, and much, much more. Check out the link below for all the details. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1 up against Dredge, Wizard. Here we have a Chancellor, and so we have a turn 1 Archon into a turn 2 White Plume Adventure. So I'll keep. I think what this is going to do is, if I see him Dredge, I might Cavern on Archon. But if I don't see a Dredge or anything, then I think I would be more interested in Caverning on Cleric. That way, my Archon is going to resolve because of my Chancellor trigger, and then my White Plume Venture is going to resolve because of my Cavern. But I think I want to play the Archon first. See what happens. My opponent has conceded the game. Yeah, no Void Mirror needed. Playing turn 1 Archon, still good in Vintage. I really should rename this deck to Mono White Archon. Tell the people what the real power card is. So we don't know what Wizard is playing. Wizard has won an Eternal Weekend, Magic Online Eternal Weekend with Dredge, definitely the deck he's known for. But that being said, he has really branched out in the last couple years. Definitely playing other decks. We have a significant Dredge sideboard, like a significant Dredge sideboard, like a significant Dredge sideboard. We have 11 card Dredge sideboard. That is quite substantial. It could be an initiative mirror. Wizard played initiative just this weekend to a 2/4. Could be shops, could be Dredge, could be initiative. I think what we can do is Archon of Absolution is going to be good against initiative and Dredge. So that should be the one we are definitely boarding in. And then I don't think we want to have these mirrors on the draw. So what I'll do is I'll bring in a Containment Priest and some Archon of Absolutions. I think this is like the most wide we can board. That it might hit all of the possible options. And then on the play, next round, if we have to go to game 3, we'll know what to do. If we have to go to game 3, though, we'll have, and it's Dredge, we'll have just so much Dredge hate, so. Kept 7. This hand doesn't play anything on turn 1, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand is very Wasteland dependent, but it's quite reasonable against Dredge. It's pretty bad in the mirror. I guess it's like, yeah, it's pretty bad in the mirror. I'll try this one. It's like decent against Dredge, and it's decent against shops, but it's not very good in the mirror, so let's see what happens. Ghost Quarter, so shops. All right, so we're definitely boarded wrong for this. And we're going to probably just get overwhelmed and die. The good news is we have Void Mirrors in game 2. Scrawly crawly. Let's see. That's not a very good draw. We're going to have to draw some fast mana to win this game so that we can play a Wish Enchanter. So I'm just going to play this. We can use our Containment Priest as an Ambush Viper on the Scrawly Crawly. So that's something we have going for us, but we're probably just going to be too slow. Yeah, Chalice on 0 means we won't have any fast mana here. We are taking 1,000,000 damage. And we're going to need 1,000,000 mana to kill this with a Wish Enchanter, so I think we're just dead here. But maybe we can chump it for a few turns. Let's see. Throwing a bunch of Moxes that he drew into the Chalice. He's going to play around Containment Priest. No, that's good for me. Get that in there. Block here. Go to 3. Now we just need to chump this thing forever. It might be doable. Oh, I guess this is a problem. Because if I search up a basic land here, it means the Ghost Quarter is turned on. So I guess I will just not search a basic land. But I have to play my 3-drop, so. Revoker. Okay. That's a problem, because it's going to clock me while I chump this every turn. Balls of Fire. I guess it's not a problem, because I can just play a Wish Enchanter next turn. I'm going to go down the Lost Well. And I'm going to bottom both. I just want creatures. If he draws a wasteland, I will want to have one of these lands. But I can find a land. Maybe I can't find a land. I will cast Witch Enchanter. Kill the Revoker. I guess I can cast Witch Enchanter. No, I can't cast a Witch. I guess getting Wasteland would be a problem. But at least we still have the... Well, maybe I need them to get up to 6. Oh, no, I have a stash coming, though. Oh, ooh, man. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to keep one land. Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb lets me kill this, right? I go to 1. All right. I believe we've stabilized. Saga Gaming. We got a bajillion wastelands for that. They have a lodestone. Fair. We've got a catacombs and we're gonna complete our dungeon here. Let's complete the dungeon. Oh, it costs 5. I need a wasteland saga. Wasteland saga. Do I want a wasteland again then? Because we're gonna complete our dungeon. I think I just want to keep them off of mana. So I can block this lodestone. Kind of a wild game, huh? Wow, this was a really cool game. Huh. That was interesting. Opponent said, I should not have played Chalice. It's tough. Tough to not play Chalice. Tough. Jeez. All right, round 2. What we got? We got the Void Mirror. All right. Let's give it a shot. Is a Void Mirror here better than playing a Caverned Archon? Probably. I guess. Maybe. Depends on the deck. That's an interesting thought. Caverned Archon. Pretty sure we're just supposed to play Void Mirror. Looks like this is going to get a forced. Yeah, negation, pitching, fluster. I'm not going to show... So showing Cavern... I want to be able to Wasteland, so I think I show Cavern. I want to be able to Archon Wasteland, even though it's giving away information. I just want to be able to do it. I don't think my opponent's going to Wasteland me if their cards were Negation, Flusterstorm. Mox Ancestral. I definitely think my play was correct. Is this going to be Beseech Storm or Doomsday? I mean, I think we actually are okay here against Doomsday. Even though they resolved Ancestral. Let's see what happens. Oof, man, they have both Moxen and Lotus. Oh, I guess we're not going to be okay. I guess Doomsday's going to kill us. All right. All right, let's see what they can do. We are going to need some more threatening power, because if they just go Doomsday here, it's definitely a problem. They can do some piles with Doomsday that involve like Street Wraith and Time Walk. None of them are going to be able to win on the same turn. Most of them will be able to win on the next turn, so... I need to get some threats in play. That's not a threat. I was kind of hoping we would draw one of our 16 creatures. Like, even Witch Enchanter is pretty good here. But we don't have anything Cavern anymore, so... I mean, if I had known my opponent would have all 3 Moxen, then yeah, maybe it's even better to play Archon first and then play Void Mirror. I still would have gotten countered, right? So it wouldn't have mattered much. Very unlikely that they have, oh wait, there's a Lorien revealed. So maybe it's Besiege? Or does Doomsday sometimes play... Does Doomsday sometimes play that? Not sure. Got a Hardcast Force for this, I assume? No. I don't think this card matters much anymore, because it would just be... I mean, this protects us from, like, a Pitchcast Force, and a Probe, and a Gush. So there's some things it protects us from. Alright, here comes Doomsday. But all they need to do is build, like, a Street Wraith Time Walk pile, and they should be fine. I think we, unfortunately, just did not draw enough threats. We drew 0 threats, but if we had drawn a threat in our first 2 turns, I think it would have been enough, because my opponent's going to go to 7 here. We just need to have some power in play. We probably would have hit him once. But yeah, there's not much we can really do, right? I guess we can get an Anointed Peacekeeper off the top as our best draw, and just like making whatever we think they have cost more. Actually, it might not even be enough. Yeah, I just drew no creatures. Doomsday is by far one of the worst matchups for mono white, so makes sense. See what they did with their pile here. I assume it's like Time Walk Street Wraith. Yeah. See, we just needed a little bit more damage. Sadly, we dead. I don't think Peacekeeper would have done it either, sadly. All right, on the play, we're definitely going to keep these cards in. They're not great, but they're fine, and we have no other cards to bring in anyways. So we just run it back, same 60. This looks like this list just does not care about Doomsday, which is pretty reasonable. Doomsday is a very low mana share deck, but it is a deck that really punishes mono white players. So... Oh, yeah. I got nothing else to say. We look at Leyline Swords, Containment Priest, Archon of Absolution. None of these cards do anything against Doomsday, so we just jam and see how it goes. We're on the play, at least for this game. We've got a Chancellor, but no fast mana. It's a mulligan. This one has 1 fast mana, but nothing on turn 1. Jeez. Can we really be keeping no play on turn 1 against Doomsday? I feel like the answer is no. And Archon, Clarion is not even that good. I'll mulligan this. This has no turn 1 hands either. But I don't think we're gonna go to 4. Going to 4 seems pretty bad, so I guess we'll try this. But sometimes you just don't have the hands you need to play the game. Looks like we're gonna take a quick L here. But yeah, that's kind of par for the course. Oh man, if we could play turn 1 Void Mirror to stop this. There's been a lot of Moxen. Four Moxen in 2 games, or 4 artifacts in 2 games from Doomsday is very high. Are we just turn 1 Doomsdaying? All right. Are we dead or? Could be just dead. All they need is a Street Wraith and a cantrip. If they have to build a pile that passes the turn, they do need to build a pile around Strip Mine, or even this Void Mirror for their Lotus, because look who they're going to put the Lotus in the pile. Yep, Street Wraith cantrip win. Yep. All right. Well, we got Doomsdayed. So this is Ancestral into Lotus into Oracle. We die. That is what you sign up for when you play Mono White Initiative. Okay, round 3. We've got a Lotus White Plume opener against no revealed Lurrus. I think this is a snap keep versus Lurrus, but against no Lurrus, like, can I keep this hand? This hand's really bad. It's functionally a mulligan already. It just has a turn 1 White Plume. I'm going to mulligan this hand. I think it's just not good enough. Like, playing a turn 1 White Plume is not a vintage winning play. If they're like Dredge and I play a Wasteland after, then yeah, maybe it's enough. But even then, they could like force this and I have no follow-up. I'm just going to mulligan this hand. This looks a lot better. Not a lot better, but like, it's good. It's good. This hand's reasonable. I'm going to probably just put back the... I guess I can put back the Bauble because I play around Mental Misstep that way, but then I don't get the ability to draw with it later. But I don't think I'm going to need to, so... Try that. Oh, just resolved a turn 1 Void Mirror. See what we're up against then. If it is Bizarre, it means I can't cast any spells, but it does mean I don't have a Wasteland in my opener anymore, so... If they're shops, they might just not be able to cast any spells for the whole game, unless they're like Jewel, Cavern of Souls. So it's a mirror then. Void Mirror, like I said, should be very good in the mirror at stopping my opponent from doing things fast. I'm ahead of the game with this Ancient Tomb. If they have an Ancient Tomb follow-up, then they're going to be be able to keep up with me. We'll see, though. I feel like I should be in a great spot, though, with all of these initiative creatures. The initiative creatures are not very good against vintage decks that are like normal blue vintage decks, but the initiative creatures are very good in the mirror for sure. The initiative creatures are important because they represent like the fastest clock in Magic for creature attacking. But they're not fast enough clock to beat like combo, right? So you really need like your Archons and your Peacekeepers and your Clarion Conquerors first to make sure like your Doomsday and your PO opponents don't kill you. And then you would deploy your initiative creatures. But if you're versed like Lurrus Control, which doesn't have a combo kill, or you're versed Mono White Initiative, then you can play these initiative creatures first and just gain an insurmountable advantage. I don't know what my opponent's thinking about. Maybe playing some extra games, playing with the kids, having a dinner, working. Who knows? But this game is pretty straightforward. I don't expect to do anything other than Forge, Trap, Archives, Throne of the Dead, playing a dungeon in ear every turn of pre-combat so that I can turn on the attacking trigger for Clerics and Warriors. Oh, they have the Ancient Tomb. And they have the White Plume. All right, so game on. So now I think we are just still playing the pre-combat Dungeoneer because I want... Yeah, I mean, there's just no downside to playing it first, right? I mean, the downside is we get like a less attack. Like if we attack and they don't block, then we get the initiative twice. I feel like just keeping a creature in play and making it bigger and unblockable just kind of has to be better, right? The revealed card was a Mox Pearl, so I will put that into the graveyard. I want to do max damage, clock my opponent out of the game for losing the die roll, basically. That is something Void Mirror will do. You lose the die roll, you lose the mirror. The good news here is we do have some extra tech. We got swords and we got Archons. Archons are pro-white, and then creatures can't attack you unless they pay 1, which is very annoying, and it flies. Quite good. I can take all these out on the draw, and then I think I'm going to take out all these Chancellors as well. I'll leave 1 Chancellor in. Seems reasonable, right? I have nothing else to say. How am I supposed to? I guess I end recording. And I'll be back. I'm like trying to think of something to say, and I have nothing to say. I just realized that. Okay, we're back. Look at that. See, it's not exactly editing, but we'll just call it editing. This has a wasteland and a mox. I can't imagine that I'm not supposed to keep that, but we'll see what happens. I definitely know the mono white mirror heuristics less than I would like. Turn 1 Archon. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Swords would be a decent draw. I don't know. I don't really know how you break serve in this matchup. Swords, I guess. Draw more Moxen. So maybe we draw like more Moxen and try to like, but like more Moxen aren't going to help us if they play turn 1 Archon. They have Saga, huh? I mean, if they follow up with an initiative creature here, then like I don't think there's any amount of coming back. Is there Saga in our deck? There's no Saga in our deck. Interesting. Hmm. 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 Why are we waiting? I we can just play the game. It'll be over in a couple minutes, no problem. Oh, just no follow-up creature? All right, no follow-up creature is good for us. Maybe we'll draw another Mox. Another Mox would be great here. Not that we could play anything on our turn here, but we could at least wasteland and still get towards 3 mana on the next turn, right? All right. That's actually does the same thing, yeah. So we wasteland the Saga, we play an Ancient Tomb, we pass. I mean, if they don't have a follow-up creature, like we're gonna get things going here. I don't think we play the initiative at the start because I don't want my opponent to take the initiative. So we probably lead with our own Archon so that we have blocks in the air. I mean, maybe we even like deploy our own Archon of Absolution first. Not first, because we can only play a 3-drop next turn, but like right after that, maybe we play our Archon of Absolution and then we just throw Haymaker initiative creatures for the rest of the game. Seems like it could be reasonable. I guess if my opponent sandbag to Wasteland here, like if they don't have a creature to play there, it means that their hand is entirely lands and Moxen and swords, right? So theoretically, my opponent might have like a wasteland here, wasteland, assuming like a land they haven't played. Okay, no wasteland and no creature. That's very interesting. I assume that means our first creature is getting killed. There's just almost no chance that our first creature isn't getting killed then, unless they have 3 lands in hand. I guess it could be. I mean, they would play out Moxen that are non-chrome Moxes. I guess they could technically have drawn Chancellor every turn, so they could have a bunch of Chancellors. Why are we in my upkeep? F6. Yield until my turn. That's a sneaky MTGO thing you can do here. You can right click on your upkeep and yield it, or even main, and then yield until my turn. It's a nice one. All right, I'm gonna play an Archon of Emeria, and then I'm going to play this on. So I guess if my opponent was to play a Clarion Conqueror, what is the thing I would want to name with this cavern? Cleric. That's my logic is if my opponent's like sandbagging a Clarion Conqueror because they don't want to turn off their white source, and then I need to be able to play my white plume and get my planes, right? So are they thinking about swordsing my Archon here possibly? I think if my opponent does nothing, we just play this Archon of Absolution next. Well, unless they hit a Seasoned Dungeon here. Oh, they have their own Archon of Absolution. What happens in a game where both players have an Archon of Absolution? Anyone know? The one who played it first wins? The one who can pay for it more wins? They drew a Pearl, they attack, they have to pay 1. I feel like I need to not tap my Ancient Tomb anymore. But like my opponent's gonna take the initiative from me. But maybe that's acceptable because we can churn through the initiative. That's why I don't play this. What do you want me to do? Combat math? So I guess we would not tap this Ancient Tomb, play a White Plume Adventurer, get a Plains, use the Plains to pay for the Archon and attack with the Archon. Puts my opponent to 11. They come back with a shot, but then we can like we can forge onto it. I think we're gonna win this race if they do nothing. And they have all these Ancient Tombs. Definitely not Wastelanding. Why are they making me talk so much? I don't want to talk so much. We don't want to do that either. All right. Let's go with uncounterable. No, not that one. Not that one. Uncounterable White Plume pre-combat so that we can play a Plains untap because it's a Plains. And then we can pay for our Archon to attack. And then it's pro white, so it automatically hits. They go to 11, and then we untap our Archon, which doesn't do anything because it's still pro white. So they play this, they attack. So if I Dungeoneer, I guess I just Dungeoneer. Hold on. If I Dungeoneer first, another Archon. They took 2 damage to play that. I gotta think about this for a second. I guess I should just Dungeoneer first, right? Because it's an extra 2 damage. Whereas if I Dungeoneer second, I can immediately trap them, but I can't do enough damage to kill them with trap. And they would have to draw an initiative creature and have the mana to cast it. Because like I'm taking 3 no matter what. So if they hit me and all they need to do is have an initiative creature. Wow. Can I kill them here? I do it and I forward. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Let's find out. So I do this. And I forge on the pro white creature. And then I attack. And this thing is unblockable. Oh no! Wait, I have to pay. So if I pay and they don't have a swords, that's fine. Paying is fine. I forgot about paying. This just needs to hit a non-land. It's 9 damage. No. All right, I got there. Wow. That was like a little bit more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, Archon of Absolution, Mirror Breaker for sure. Whew, okay, we'll go to the next game. All right. Round 4. Nice, quick, and fast games of Magic. I think each round has only been about 10 minutes long. Might be a short video, but no, you know, it's good to have a short video every once in a while. We lost the die roll this time, but we are up against Lurrus, so some different things are happening. I don't like this hand. No fast mana. I'm mulligan. This is better. I think I'm gonna just bank on trying to draw another white card for my Chrome Mox, and we'll keep these cards here. See how it goes. Jet. Doesn't tell us anything. Emerald means it's likely combo. Looks like Lurrus PO. So we're gonna want to play a turn 1 Archon of Emeria, which we can do without the Chrome Mox. So let's do it. And a stock up. All right, double Mox turn 1 stock up is one of the best plays in Vintage right now, I must say. That card is so strong. It's crazy. But we got a nice follow-up. We shouldn't really give anything away by playing Ruby Emerald. It's unlikely they're going to counter these. And we can play an uncounterable Archon, so... We got some game here. Not the greatest card to draw, but it does hit their only blue mana later. Didn't draw a white source for this Chrome Mox, so we'll probably have to draw a white land or do it over 2 turns. But yeah, Archon is by far the most important card here. Now, they do have multiple answers to Archon in their main. If they're on my list, they have Chain of Vapor and 2 Flame of Venor, and if they're on Monkey list, they have 2 Flame of Venor. And they can technically have swords in the main if they want to have swords in the main. So this is not the end-all be-all, but obviously it's quite good, making their Tolarian Academy tap when it enters. And it doesn't matter because my opponent has a time walk. Okay. I believe we lost the die roll here means we probably lost the game. That is, again, part of the problem with playing Mono White Initiative. They have the Demonic Tutor off of the Mox Jet. That is disgusting. That is the kind of greed and arrogance that I just can't, man. It's so hard to cast Demonic Tutor against an Archon, and they're just like, well, I have the Mox Jet, so it's fine. It's likely that means that they have a Flame of Venor here. The reason I did this pre-combat was to force this Flame of Venor because I don't think the 2 damage matters, but being able to play 2 spells this turn does matter. So that's why I did it. That being said, if they just have a Force of Will, it's pretty bad for me. What am I going to do about it? Nothing. All right. We at least got the Dungeoneer here, so we have a threat, but we don't have any hate piece anymore. So our opponent can just go Mox PO and kick our butt. Yep. Mana Crypt PO. Mana Crypt Soul Ring PO. This is why, oh, 4th Aerlingus. This is why you need to have a good hate piece. I don't think this is that bad for me. Can I win? They have a Mana Crypt. They're at 20. They should not leave back blockers because this thing has unblockable. They might not know that, though. Anything they don't hit me with is good for me. They should just full swing. Oh, they figured it out. Okay. All right, 1 down. They get the Monarch and the Initiative. Do they have a basic land in their deck? They do not have a basic land in their deck, so older version of Monkey. Draw an extra card. I mean, even if they just draw PO, we still win. Even they still win anyway. Archon. Uncounterable. Archon of Emeria. We attack with our Dungeoneer. And then I think... Didn't get any extra damage there. We get the Monarch, and then... I mean, we're going to have to race, right? We can't really beat these things. So I guess I'm just going to forge onto this unblockable creature. It also puts it out of Flame of Venor range. I mean, Archon is probably our best draw because it makes the PO a lot worse. They know about the Cavern, so let's just play Cavern on Cleric. Could be on Human, could be on... I guess maybe I want to play Cavern on Dragon in case I draw the Dragon. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that idea. Cavern on Dragon. I mean, maybe I'm just supposed to play the plane. Oh, wait, they know about the planes, too. I immediately drew the Cleric, by the way. So, yeah, I guess if they know about the planes, then playing the planes makes more sense. But there's, like, combinations of, like, drawing a creature that you want uncounterable and drawing a Wasteland. So, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it a little bit more. So here they can only get in for 6. They can only cast 1 spell. They have an active Mana Crypt, which they won the flip on. Next turn, if we do resolve our White Plume, which we might have messed up by playing this Cavern, we're going to get to go quicker down this this thing here, and we'll be able to untap next turn, which means they won't have enough attackers anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how this game goes. I think we're unfavored, but I think it's a possibility. I guess they do get to forge if they want. Which means we'll probably have to sack a creature next turn blocking wise. Oh, they went down the Lost Well. Interesting. Bottom. I guess they're just looking for another Flames, right? They probably only have one more removal spell in their deck. Stock up, maybe? Yeah. I don't really... I think I might have threw the game, actually, by playing the Cavernon Dragon instead of the Cavernon Cleric, instead of just playing the Plains. It was a huge problem. Because now, like, they could have hit Force off of this stock up. So we're going to attack first to get Trap activated, and then we'll play it post-combat for Archives. Wasteland. Okay. So do I want to hit the red source, or do I want to hit the Saga token? Do I care about a Saga token? I think I'm going to clock my opponent to the point where I don't care about a Saga token. I want to hit the red source. Oh, they have a blue spell? A PO? PO with a mana crypt, I guess. That's their one spell a turn, though. Now they can't counter this. Oh, they're going to PO for the full 4. Okay. That's their one spell now. They can't counter this. So they have a million cards, but they can only play one spell a turn. And they can't play a red source. I think this means we just win. So I attack with just the Seasoned Dungeoneer, which I'll be able to untap with the White Plume Adventure. I don't get any extra damage from exploring. I immediately trap my opponent. Wait, I think I won this game. Oh. I don't know if I was supposed to win this game. But yeah, they can't play another spell this turn because of the Archon, so that means this is uncounterable. Which means that we are going to Archives and we're going to untap. And I don't think they can get the red mana to play a Flames of Anor anymore. So unless they're playing a Chain, they're pretty dead. All right, I think we won this game. Very cool. Because this will be unblockable and this will be in the air. And they can't attack me through. I think we won. Wow, very cool. Very cool. Not bad. Wild. Okay, a W. Big. I'm going to bring in nothing. I'm pre-boarded. It's not a bad place to be. Void Mirror is still good on the draw in this matchup because they have all these Oxen Enforces and stuff. Not great because they have like Flames to Kill It and Portable Hole and Seal of Cleansing and whatever they have in their sideboard. Like if you play Steel Sabotage, you probably bring the Steel Sabotage in as well. So we're 2-1 in this league. Well, we got bullied by Doomsday. We can win this match. It's pretty good. Things have worked pretty well. Obviously, we lost. We mulliganed to Oblivion at least once, but that's kind of part of the deck. You just have to have pretty aggressive mulliganing. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Game 2. No white source. Classic mono white deck with no white source. How many white sources in our deck? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we have enough. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. I think this hand's good. It forces a force of their other hand. Any white source, any Mox. Chrome Mox, I mean. Any Chrome Mox. Yeah, I don't think I want to mulligan this. Cavern also is like double white source. Black Lotus for their Demonic Tutor. I mean, it seems castable, apparently. That shit's never castable for me when I splash it in my Jeskai deck, but I'm not a very powerful wizard, chat. I'm just a gamer, okay? I mean, I assume you're gonna get Ancestral Recall, yeah? Is there something else you would get here? I guess you could get fast mana, like a mana crypt if you're looking to PO. Yeah, mana crypt might work. You get a mana crypt, then you can PO for 3. That's not bad. If you already have a PO, then maybe that gets better than Ancestral. Oh, look at that. All right, PO for 3. All right, what's my top card? Hope it's a Chrome Mox or a Mox Pearl or a Black Lotus. All right, so my opponent did a lot of spinning, but they have a lot of counters. There's a Plains. Plains is actually fine. Let's see what they say about Bobble. Nope, no Bobble. I'm gonna play Ancient Tomb then in case I can draw. I guess Cavern would let me still, unless they remove my Mox Sapphire, I'd still be able to use Cavern. So I guess we'll play Plains then. They were dead in this game, to be fair, but we did get on the draw, so it's gonna happen. Stocking up. Got to refuel after force pitching. Stock up. Ooh, okay. So our best card is Clarion Conqueror at the moment, but probably gets forced or removed, which makes me want to play Peacekeeper possibly. We're just still so far behind. Okay, they have a bunch of swords at this point. Another Ancient Tomb is pretty nice for next turn. Yeah, I'm gonna play a Peacekeeper. Oh wait, it's not nice for next turn because I don't have another white source. Never mind. If they like just have a swords in their hand, then I'll just name swords and it'll make it cost 3. It's pretty good tempo. I got him to pitch a PO. So if we can survive one more turn and deploy the Conqueror, maybe we have a chance. They pitched a stock up and a PO so far. They've had a bunch of Moxen. Okay, they have a prismatic ending. Interesting. All right, I don't really care about that Sapphire. So unless I draw a Chrome Mox, then I care. They have 2 cards by Lurrus then? I mean, if they buy Lurrus here, 2 cards that are not Lurrus, they could have swords. But I drew the Chrome Mox. Okay. I am going to play a Peacekeeper, and then I will decide after what my plan is. Hopefully it's swords. Okay, it's swords and flame. Okay, so we're gonna name swords. They have to draw mana now. They have to draw specifically. They're gonna have to specifically draw lands. I'm gonna get rid of this White Plume Adventure, which feels bad, and then I'm gonna deploy the Clarion Conqueror. So their hand is Lurrus, Swords, Flame of Anor. They can't cast any of them currently. They need to draw lands. And they have a mana crypt in play. It's a winnable game. It's a winnable game somehow. It is so crazy. This is a winnable game. They won their flip. They did not draw a land. Okay. We've got a nice attack for 6 here. I don't know if I'm supposed to play that out or hold it for info, but that's okay. I'm just going to play it out in F6. If they lose a mana crypt flip, they can die on this next attack. They won another mana crypt flip. They draw land. Wow, this Chrome Mox draw was nuts, by the way. Nuts. Another Clarion Conqueror. I think that means the game is over. Wow. Wow. Ah, this was a steal. I think a lot of things had to go right. And they have a mana crypt flip they have to win as well. I've already won 2. What's a third? Nah, game over. Another W. Mono white initiative. All right, we're here on our 5th and final round. All of our rounds so far have been 10, 15 minutes long. Not bad. I'm always appreciative of that if I'm trying to make a quick video. On the play versus Golos Tireless Skier without a white source. Yeah, I'm in. Double Chancellor, Vexing Bauble, Wasteland. I can cycle this Bauble and try to find a white source. I'm fine with this keep here. This was bad sequencing. I probably shouldn't have. It doesn't matter. I don't think this sequencing matters. But probably should have just used it off the mana crypt and then leave. No, I mean, then if they wasteland me back, it's hard to crack Bobble end of turn. I think this is the correct sequencing because I want to be able to like crack Bobble on their end step if I feel like it's worth it. Yeah, I think that's correct. All right, Bazaar of Baghdad. Okay, so now I don't think I'm cracking Bobble because it's locking them out of playing the game. I'm going to have to use this Wasteland to kill this Bazaar. Lost my flip. They have 1 Dredger. All right, I have no white source. I'm willing to wait at least a turn. Although none of my Chrome Moxes work. See what this Dredge does for them. If their Dredge hits some more Dredgers, then things get a little bit more challenging here. Let's go to end step. Their Dredge hit Thug Chill. Certainly bad for me. And there's still an Icarid. I'm gonna wait 1 more turn before I crack this Bobble. Yeah. Okay. I think on their end step, I'm gonna have to crack this Bobble, and I mean, these cards don't do anything though. I don't think they're gonna Icarid here. I think they'll just Thug. Oh, they did Icarid. That's very aggressive, isn't it? I guess they're gonna pitch hand size. Okay, so they have amalgams now. Oh man. Void Mirror. Okay, well, I needed not Void Mirror, that's for sure. I also have to win my crit flips. Which doesn't seem like I'm doing at the moment. Did do that one. I did not hit a white source. All right, maybe this was greedy. Maybe I was a little greedy, and maybe I made a mistake. maybe there was a mistake here. So they're gonna counter the Bauble and get the Noxious Revival countered, and then counter the Void Mirror. And I'm gonna play Ancient Tomb Vast. All right. They have a second Noxious Revival. Maybe they were supposed to force and then Noxious Revival their Bazaar. That's an interesting sequence. They wanted to make sure the Void Mirror didn't resolve, but maybe they have a second Bazaar in their hand. There's no way they have second Bazaar in their hand. Kind of weird. I feel like you would rather Noxious Revival the Bazaar of Baghdad than force the Void Mirror, but I don't think it's going to matter very much. Can't really beat this many creatures. I can't really even use my tomb. I'm taking crypt flip tosses. There's my white source. It puts me down to 2 life. All right, 3 life. I should. No, 2 life. Okay, whatever. Get me out. I don't know. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe it wasn't. But we are boarding in 13 here, so I don't even have to board in swords because we have witch enchanters. We do want all of these void mirrors, so I don't know. I guess we're gonna take out Clarion Conqueror as a dead card. Peacekeeper's nuts. Mamiria is probably the worst card. And then I kind of want the Chancellors on the play for sure. More likely to resolve any of our nonsense. So am I taking out Seasoned Dungeoneers? That's the classic argument with Jordan inside of the Discord. Am I supposed to keep White Plume Adventurer or Seasoned Engineer? Let's try this. It's a hell of a board plan. I think on the draw, I will take out the Chancellors for Dungeoneers again. Maybe? Like the Void Mirrors are still good on the draw in mono white versus Dredge because their whole deck costs 0. But there's like not that many things you want to hit. There's just Griefs and Forces and Vigors, which are good things to hit. But then like Chancellor is protecting me from a Vigor right on turn 1 here on my ley line, so maybe I'm just keeping this board plan for pre and post board. Kind of wild. Archon of Absolution means they can't attack me, so they have to kill that. Containment Priest, they have to kill as well. I mean, this is a sicko sideboard versus Dredge. If we lose to Dredge, I'll be so sad because like you really can't have more cards than this. So we have a Chancellor. So our first play is uncounterable. We have 6 total mana. We could have 6 total mana. So I guess we could just play a Peacekeeper and name Bazaar. Yeah, it's probably a keep. I have a Chancellor. It also means that I don't have to use... I probably won't play my Black Lotus. Oh, wait, I'm going to get rid of the Chancellor. Yeah, okay. Get rid of the Chancellor, and then I'm going to play a Anointed Peacekeeper. Unless they have double force here. They don't. So let me just take a picture of this real quick. They have a double Bazaar hand. All right, Bazaar of Baghdad. That means that I am just going to play this Lotus out now. All right, I think this means we just win, right? Like, what the hell are they doing against this? This easily bridges us into a leyline game, maybe. Let's see, they pitch the hand size, the Thug, and then we play Uncounterable Containment Priest. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll play a Seasoned Dungeoneer. I mean, I have so many cards. I mean, I got Wasteland. There's so many anti-Dredge cards. This list is nuts. I mean, what are you even putting in your mono white sideboard? You get mirror breakers, and you get anti-Dredge, and you get anti-combo, right? I guess you can play some mind break traps or something. I'm gonna run this back though. Yeah. So this time I'm hoping we have a leyline hand. Yeah, the Chancellors seem pretty good here. What a lopsided sideboard. The old bring in 13 is... I guess it wasn't 13, it was only 11? Because we didn't bring any swords in. Only 11. 11, that's nothing. Andreas must hate Dredge. That must be what we've learned from this. My poor opponent. All right, give me the good Chancellor Leyline hand into Wasteland, Lotus, Peace, whatever. Give me all the goodies. I have so many cards. I mean, in the main, we even had these Peacekeepers, right? And they're nuts. So, all right, this hand is Chancellor, Void Mirror, Wasteland, Wish Intent. Is this good enough? That's a hard question to answer. Is this hand good enough? I kind of think the answer is no. Like, we have a Wasteland, but like we can do better. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we can. Yeah, I'm going to keep this hand, and I'm going to bin the White Plume Adventurer, and then I'm going to hit done, and I'm going to reveal Leyline and Chancellor. This hand's actually a little weak to the hollow one, so the White Plume might have been actually good for that, but that's okay. I think I need to make sure that they get a spell counter with this, and then if we can resolve the Void Mirror, it means they can't kill the Leyline, and we'll be in a great spot. All right, so they have to have double spells here. They need to have like force and force, or else they won't be able to deal with the void mirror. This is so hateful. Oh my. Get this Chancellor trigger in this oh no, come back. Come back. It's such a good picture. All right. Well, a solid 4-1. We lost the Doomsday matchup, which was, of course, a tough one. But we did really well in the other ones. I think, well, the close one was the Lurrus PO, but we were able to pull through there. I like this list, actually. I think this list is quite nice. It's very clean, all 4 ofs, all your fast mana, all your good sideboard cards. It might be, like I said, a little weak to combo, but it's hard to make the deck better against combo, right? Like, you need to play Mindbreak Trap, I guess, and Mindbreak Trap doesn't really play very well with Void Mirror either, so something to think about. But basically, the whole point of the video was to show you the Void Mirror tech, just so you're aware of it. I want my whole audience to know about what's happening. I still don't really think I like initiative very much, but I also just can't really handle the amount of coin flips. There's just so many games you just can't win, and so many games where you can't lose, and that might not be everyone's cup of tea. I do think, even though I am saying that there are lots of games you can't win, games you can't lose, that does not mean that the deck is devoid of skill expression, and there are very important choices to make. Sequencing your mana is very important. Sequencing your threats is very important. And we had some really cool games that went like longer, that had a lot of combat going on. There's a lot of play to mono white. Don't just write it off as a deck that you're just opening hand, you throw your things down. The way you throw your things down actually matters quite a bit. And mulliganing is very much, very, very important in this deck. You need to make sure you're finding that correct mix of mana, accelerants, and pieces that are good against what your opponent's doing. You need those hate bears against the combo decks, but you really want those initiative creatures versus the easy deck, or not the easy decks, but the fairer decks, I should say. Hope you enjoyed this short little league video. More content on the YouTube channel Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Subscribe, and I'll see you then.